Welcome to Warrior Wellness, bodyweight exercise conditioning for joint strength. This is our beginning program. And in beginning, we do not mean a beginning level of fitness. What we mean is best illustrated by Benjamin Brackbill's words in the Movement Health Program, which are advancement in the Zdarovia health system happens in 3 compartments. First, recovery of your basic motions, your basic range of motions. Then, a coordination of that extended range of motion. And then finally, a refinement of those motions. In the beginning program of Warrior Wellness, what we're going to focus on is covering each joint, getting the full range of motion. Feel free to follow along the entire program, but also feel comfortable with hitting the stop button to go over a particular exercise that might be causing you trouble. If you have any difficulties with a particular exercise because of a pre-existing injury or condition, sit down, relax, don't push yourself. Joint strength takes time, so relax. We'll begin with the head and we're going to work ourselves downward. So, first, tilting back and forth. Your main emphasis here is when your head's dropping to the side, lift with your mandible. Place your opposite shoulder down. That's what's going to stretch out the muscle. We're going to do this 10 times on each side. As you stretch, you should be lifting so you can feel the muscle relax and pull. 9 and 10. Neck in particular, but all of your joints, I want to make sure you're going slowly. Twisting from side to side, when your reference point should be just a degree beyond your shoulder plane. Turn, not with your chin, but with your cheekbone. If you turn with your chin, you're going to start to cut off the range of motion. Turn with your cheekbone and keep your shoulders low and relax. And the last one. Now, continuing on, I'm going to turn to the side for you. With the head slide, come down like your head's protruding out of your chest. Lift with the crown, sliding back and forth. This is going to be a challenging range of motion for most people because most people have their balance and posture here to begin. If you're here, lift with the crown of your head. Start to rock. This will put your body back underneath your head so you have proper form and proper balance. We're going to do this 10 times as well. One more. 10. Lead with the mandible. So you're going on this plane from one side to the next. This is going to be a range of motion that most people are going to be uncomfortable because you're walking like an Egyptian. But relax so that you can recover this. This is a tender motion, so don't strain. We're going to do this 10 times as well. One more. Good. Continuing on with the shoulders. Individual circles. There are going to be 6 planes. Now, we talk about this in Warrior Wellness. We're going to do 5 in each direction. 5 on the side, switching to the other side. Rocking forward. There are 6 degrees of freedom. You can think of these as right, left, top, bottom, front, back. Switch to the other arm. Try and reach with these so that in each one, you're going to the apogee of the range of motion. 5, switch directions. So this is covering right, left. Now we're going to do top, bottom. Switch back to the first arm. Try and keep this in the top plane, so you're going to have to move out of the range of motion of the joint. 5, switch directions. Remember, this is a beginning program. Some of you are going to be very limited in your range of motion. Don't worry about it. Go to the other arm. And 5, and switch directions. Relax. It's not a matter of muscular inflexibility, but a matter of relaxation in your tissues. That's going to give you the range of motion in your joint again for tendon strength. Switch to the inside. So we have inside, outside, right? Switch directions. This might be challenging because you have to keep your body frontal while your arms reaching to the other side. Switch. 5 circles in one, 5 circles in the other direction. So we have inside, outside, top, bottom. When you're doing this bottom circle, you should feel your serrators and your lats pull as you're covering the full range of motion. That means that you're stretching out the joint capsule. So switch the other arm. 3, 4, 5. Try and get a full range of motion, but try and keep it fluid. Right, left, top, bottom, front, back. I'll start with this view. Think of this as a huge air guitar, but keep your arm in the plane of your chest. Switch directions. Other arm. 5 going out. 5 going in. Backside. We were in the frontal plane, now switching to the back plane. 5 in one direction. This is going to be a tight range of motion for most people. We tend to keep our range of motion where our comfort zone is. That's why a joint strength program is necessary to keep our joints healthy and alive. Switch directions. Now, we've covered all of the circles. So what we're going to do is stretch out the joint first, lifting. Now that we've covered all the range of motions. Lift again, up. Don't lift with your head, don't lift with your feet. 3. Now, lift with both. Coming out in front of you. Not just arms up, but reach out. Don't bend over. Reach outward. This is going to give our arms a break because in a moment we're going to do both of those circles together. Now we're going backwards. Reach down. We did 6 circles with singular arms. Now we're going to do them together. So, first, one arm up, one arm down. Like you're stuck in a pool. We're going to do this 5 in one direction, 5 in the opposite direction. Top. 5 in one direction, 5 in the opposite direction. Now we're only going to be able to do this in 5 degrees of freedom because we can't do this. So, bottom. 5 in the opposite direction. 5 frontally. 5 the opposite direction. 5 in the back. 5 in the opposite direction. It's a good shoulder warm-up. We're going to move now down to the elbows. We have as many circles in the elbows as we do in the shoulders. So we're going to begin first on the inside. Some of you have tendonitis. Range of motion is the only way to abate the pain and injury. Switch the other direction, 5. Now, we're going to switch the other arm. Concentrate on keeping your upper arm stable. If you move your upper arm, look how it limits the range of motion on the circle. Stable. Switch directions, 5. Switch to the top. Stable in the upper arm. Circle in the front. 5. Switch directions. Switch arms. Switch directions. Bottom. Drop your arm down. 5 in one direction. 5 in the opposite direction. Switch arms. 5 in one direction. 5 in the opposite direction. Frontal plane. 5 in one direction. 5 in the opposite. Have to be thorough in every joint in your body. This is why it's a great morning workout. It's tough to get the energy going early in the morning. isn't it? Especially when we have to go to work. Switch to the back plane. If you have to go into work in the morning, best thing to do is warm up the joints. Switch the opposite direction. This will be a little difficult. 5 in one direction. Switch the other side. 5 in one direction. 5 in the opposite direction. Now, both arms. We're going to do both circles together just like we did with the shoulders. So, we'll start in the inside. 5 in one direction, like you're working on a speed bag. 5 in the opposite direction. Top plane. 5 in one direction. 5 in the opposite direction. Catch a motif here. Drop down to the bottom plane. 5 in one direction. You guessed it. 5 in the opposite direction. Frontal plane, like a propeller. 5 in one direction. 5 in the opposite direction. We have one less plane. 5 in the back. 5 in the opposite direction. If you don't feel comfortable with your range of motion at first, your coordination, don't do it in front of a window. Do it with your family. Okay, we're going to move now from the elbows down to the wrists. We started with the trunk. We moved out further. Now we're at the third joint. With the wrists, simple circles to begin. But remember again, if you move your forearm, you lose the range of motion. Establish a structure, and that's going to give you the circle. So we're going to start with both wrists. Simple circles. We'll do 10. We'll do 10. Switch to the opposite direction. Keep your forearm stable so you get a full range of motion on your wrists. If you want to abate the onset of carpal tunnel, got to get the range of motion going. We're going to go even further down now to the final joints. Start with the thumb. 5 in one direction. All the way down, each finger. 5. 5. It's going to take some coordination at first. 5 with the pinky. Switch the other direction with the pinky. Switch to the ring finger, to the pointer finger, to the index, and back to the thumb. Now, it's important you think, I'm only doing these small circles with my fingers. What benefit is that going to have? Think of that. Think of this. The largest allocation of your brain is dedicated to your hands. Exercise them. Don't get them cramped up into a motor set. You need to exercise your hands, especially the more digitally active you are, the more dexterity you're going to require. So, we've covered the arms in the basic program, so we're going to come down to the chest. Most people don't think there's a lot of range of motion in your chest, but alas, there is. And we're going to start from the solar plexus. Dropping back, that lets the pelvis tilt, but lift with the solar plexus and back. Don't roll your shoulders back. This is something else, okay? Lift with your solar plexus and down. Each time there should be a breath, so you're exhaling when you compress, inhaling when you lift. Exhale with your mouth, inhale with your nose. We're going to do this 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, switch to the side, the lateral movement on your spine. This is going to be challenging. Keep your hips in place and let your body shift. We're going to move left, right, left, right. Try not to tilt. This is something else. It's a different range of motion. Left, right. We're going to do this 10 times as well. This is going to be challenging, but as you start to explore the range of motion, you're going to recover that. And where do we have most of our chronic injuries? In our back, because we don't move our spine. And our spine, its mobility, its range of motion is the health. As we get older, gravity compresses it. That forces the fluids out between the vertebrae, and what happens? They become brittle, and we have back injuries. Move it or lose it. Move it or lose it. On to the spinal twist. From here, we're going to twist back and forth. Now, we're going to start, and I want you to work your way up to this. I don't want you thrusting with big ballast movements. Start by just leading with your elbow. As you become more and more comfortable, I'm going to do all 3 choices in 10 motions. Let your fist carry out, but don't throw it out. Just let your fist carry out. This is going to add more torque onto the range of motion in your spine. Just one fist, bring the other to your chest, As you become most comfortable in the basic program, throw both your arms out and meet the opposite foot. So you swing from one side to the next, one side to the next. And as you become super comfortable, turn your head and look in the opposite direction, but don't throw your head. Lead with your chest. 10 for the spinal twists. For the tilts, not just rocking. I want you to reach each one down to the ground, not straight out, over in a circle. We're going to be doing 10, but I want you to go to where you're comfortable. Lean over, let gravity pull you down. Don't let your arm drift in front. Keep your arm over top. We're at 3, 4. As you become more and more comfortable, you're going to have to move that opposite arm out of the way. We're on 6, 7. Breathe when you do these. If you hold your breath, you're going to pass out. 9 and 10. We're going to move on to the next exercise. We've twisted and tilted, and we're going to thrust. And when you do this, I want you to take your hands and I want you to push down on your pelvis so that you can stretch back. This is half of the exercise. Push out. Now, as you come back to center, I want you to come straight down. If this is all the further you go, this is where I want you to stop. If you're comfortable, I want you to reach between your knees. Don't strain your neck. Don't lead with your head. Back and forth. That's 3. That's 4. And when you do these, don't just go through the motions. I want you to get the full range of motion on your spine. So you're pushing and lunging. Pushing and lunging. Like gravity do the work for you. We're at 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. We've worked on the spine, so we're going to go even lower, down to the hips. In the hip region, we're going to first start with the large circle that we have this range of motion. I want you to cover each side, front, side, back, side, front. Don't add in any small articulations to it. I want you to have a big range of motion, like you're a big weeble. Hips, as Ben Brackville will tell you in the Zdarovi health system, are a problem area for most people. And the reason being, they don't move them, especially men. Men, you think it's unmanly to move in a certain way, guess what? That's where you have the injury. And I'll tell you one thing, having an injury is unmanly. Work for your health, or it'll work against you. So we have 10 in one direction, 10 in the opposite direction. Tilts. When you tilt to one side, you're going to have to bend the knee. Back and forth. We're going to do these 10 times, and I want you to get the full range of motion as you drop down. 4, 5, 6. Just think of this as a hip check. If not, think of it as the bump. Whatever you need to do, I want you working on the range of motion. One more. And done. Leg swings. We're going to move down even further beyond the hips now. Get a firm, stable footing. If you're having problems with the next exercise, grab a partner or lean against the wall. But I want you to bring your knee to your chest and I want you to breathe. I don't want you to throw your foot. Bring your knee to your chest and breathe out. Good. Now, when you're doing this, I don't want you to think flexibility. I want you to think range of motion. Flexibility is something different. Flexibility comes subsequent to range of motion. If you try for flexibility first, you're going to injure yourself. So, switch the other leg. Front. Knee to chest. 4, 5, and I want you to really breathe out. The more that you breathe out, the more you're going to be able to bring your chest to your knee. 10. Now, out to the side, when you do this, lift with the knee. If you lift with the foot, you're going to cause strain. I want you to lift with the knee each time. 3, 4, 5. You don't have to go super high. You can keep this low. As long as it's off the ground, you're working on the strength of your balance, a functional balance. Switch to the other leg. Get a firm footing. Lean against the wall, lean against the crutch, doesn't matter. Lift with the knee. Don't strain. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't think you're working on flexibility. Remember, joint strength, joint strength. Knees. Lift one off. Work in a circle. This is going to be difficult to see on video because it compresses the image, but range of motion. 5 in one direction. I'm going to switch so you can see. 5 in the opposite direction. Keep your upper leg stable. 5. Switch the other knee. 5. Switch the other direction. Now, we've worked on the knee. We'll go right down to the circle on the ankle. Move around. Try and stabilize your lower leg. 5 in one direction. 5 in the opposite direction. Just draw a small circle with your ankle. And ankle tends to be a problem area as well because we wear over-engineered footwear. And what does that keep us from doing? Moving the range of motion we need for the health of our joints. 5. Now, final exercise is going to be whole bodily in the beginning program. And that being our 4-corner balance drill. We'll start by lifting. Now, I want you to go low, but I'm going to give you a higher version when we do this so that you can see where it should go, or can go, or will go. But I don't want you to force it to that. Pull your toes back towards your shin. We're going to hold this for a count of 10. Switch to the outside. As you turn this out, I want you to try and face your toes to the rear. You can counterbalance by keeping your other arm out. Rotate backwards. Keep your lower leg parallel to the ground. Relax. Keep your knees bent. That's for 10. When you come back out, same thing as before. Pull your toes back towards your shin. Relax down into the position. Joint strength. Joint strength, joint strength. That means you need to root. Put your foot on your thigh. With your own body weight, start to squat down and push your opposite knee, your bent knee, backwards. That's one leg. Opposite leg. Leg up. Toes pulled back towards your shin. I'm going to hold this for a count of 10. Your feet should be on fire if you're doing this correctly. Reason being because your toes need to bite into the ground. I'll hold this for 10. Switch to the back. When you're here, squat down a bit. Keep your lower leg, your risen leg, parallel to the plane of the earth. Keep your arms out to balance. Or if you're uncomfortable, keep this low. Like I said, grab onto a partner or to a brace. If you have a ballet post, you can grab on. That would be optimal. Switch back to the front. Pull your toes back towards your shin. Hold that for 10. And you know what's next? Onto your thigh. Screw down. Push back on your own body weight. Hold it for 10. You're done with your legs. But we're going to do one more whole bodily exercise to wrap this up. From here, hands straight up. I want you to inhale. Lift with the solar plexus. Relax your arms down. Don't let them fall down. I just want you to have a pause. We're going to do this one more time. That's it, sports fans. Now, that should start off your morning every day. Every day. You don't need a rest. This is an exercise in dynamic relaxation. This is active recovery by working on the range of motion, by recovering the range of motion in each joint. So, have a good day. Remember, every day, if you don't move it, you'll lose it.